What's going on, everybody, and welcome back here to another weather forecast, my friends. Happy Thanksgiving to you all out there. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving full of fun times, friends and family, and of course food. We got ourselves a bit of crazy weather, though, that's ongoing currently and set to drive some impacts across the east regarding snow and severe weather. Unfortunately, tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds will be a possibility as we are starting to see a bit of storms kicking off. Now, let's go ahead and dive our way into the current view of things currently. So first off, in the northeast, we are continuing to see a bit of snowfall. We've been tracking this for the last few days. As we're going to look at the timing here later on, this snow should be out basically by the later portion of today into early tomorrow morning. But we are seeing a bit of heavy snow kicking off out there towards like New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire. Eventually going to be working its way into Maine here pretty soon. The southern side's already starting to get a little bit, and maybe even a little bit of western Massachusetts. Now, the coastal areas out here towards New England is relatively too warm for any winter precipitation, so you guys, unfortunately, are just going to be stuck with boring old rain for Thanksgiving, but it will be bringing a decent amount of rainfall to the region here overall. Now, down towards the south, we have this marginal risk for severe weather, this green area. This is where a little bit of severe weather is possible today from northern Florida up there towards eastern North Carolina. Currently, we do have ourselves this line, this cold front of storms kicking off currently. A little bit of potential of severity, like we mentioned, but we are starting to see kind of widespread thunderstorms developing out there towards like central southern Georgia, like southern South Carolina, and so forth. Now, whenever it comes to the tornado risk here for today, we do got ourselves a big 2% chance, which honestly is a relatively low probability for tornadoes. But the thing is that it is still a risk for a couple tornadoes. So you guys out there, you might want to keep it on the radar throughout today across portions of southern Georgia, central eastern portions of South Carolina, and like southeastern portions of North Carolina. The odds of you getting a tornado is extremely low, so try not to worry about it too much, but just keep it on the radar in the weather for today, as there could be a couple isolated tornadoes. And if you get a tornado warning, obviously go to your safe spot. If you have a basement, storm cellar, go there. If you do not, go to the central interior portion of your home in a room such as a closet or a bathroom. So there will be the possibility for a couple tornadoes. Now, in terms of hail, we do have ourselves a little bit of a hail threat towards southern South Carolina and central and southern Georgia. A little bit of a chance for some hail, possibly up to right around 1 inch in diameter to 1.5 inches in diameter. So we could get a little bit of hail possible. It's just a 5% chance. So within a 25-mile radius of your location, if you're in this, you got a pretty low chance of having that overall in that region. So, and then lastly, we do have ourselves a damaging wind threat, extending the whole marginal risk there from northern Florida to the eastern side of North Carolina, where we could see a little bit of damaging wind gusts, possibly up to right around 60 miles an hour or so. All right, y'all, so hop on over here to the models regarding the timing of the winter weather and stuff like that. So whenever it comes to it here, the snow obviously is pretty much done for areas out there by like Pennsylvania and whatnot. We are starting to see a bit of lake effect snow out here towards the western side of Michigan and for the upper portion of the state as well. Actually, if we hop our way over here to the radar, once again, you can actually see out here, we are starting to see a bit of that lake effect snow starting to kick off. That'll really be a problem down in time for you folks up there towards like northeastern Ohio, northwestern Pennsylvania, and western portion of New York. We'll get into more of that here in a few minutes here overall. Now, hopping on over here back here to the timing regarding things, like we mentioned, there is going to be a bit of snow carrying on throughout this evening. The snow should start to kind of settle down here right around 9 p.m. or so for New York State here in general. And while this does occur, we will be starting to get a bit of that lake effect snow starting to kick off here relatively soon across portions of the Ohio Valley. So by this evening, we could be getting ourselves a little bit of snow out there towards Ohio, maybe towards like western Pennsylvania, maybe some of those regions out there towards West Virginia, Indiana. Could see a little bit of snow showers here. The storm should be relatively out of Vermont and pretty much New Hampshire right around midnight or so, maybe a little bit later than midnight, but still ongoing in Maine at that point. Now, once we work our way further down in time, basically for, the later portion, kind of middle portion for tomorrow morning, that's when that snow is going to stop across Maine. But by this point tomorrow morning, we'll be having a lot of lake effect snow across the Ohio Valley, so that's something we're going to really need to look out for. Okay, so now we're working our way over here into the snowfall accumulation category in terms of how much you guys can expect. Now, let me go ahead and tell you all, we are talking a lot of snow, potential feet in some areas here regarding lake effect snow in general. Now, first of all, let's go ahead and mention this. Over the next 72 hours, we could even see a little bit of snow out there near the St. Louis area, according to the National Weather Service's 50th percentile regarding the expected amount of accumulation. We could get ourselves maybe around an inch in some spots up there towards like northeastern Missouri, maybe a little bit of a trace through like southern Indiana going its way into Kentucky within the next 3 days. Now, up there towards the upper elevations like West Virginia, honestly, not a whole lot, but a good amount of snow, you know, a good maybe 2 to 4 inches with locally amounts maybe a little bit higher towards 5 in some areas. Could be a possibility. Now, here's where the accumulations really start to pick up. So we work our way over here towards the western side of Michigan here. The southwestern and western side, honestly, we're talking a good 4 to 8 inches or so of snowfall with possibly local amounts into several feet up here towards that northern side of Michigan. For the upper portions, you guys as well. Maybe even not just 1, but maybe 2 foot towards the eastern side of the upper portion of Michigan. Now, honestly, for my folks up there towards like northeastern Ohio and northwestern Pennsylvania, also western New York State, this is the region I was telling you guys we really need to watch out for. Look at this. According to the expected amount of accumulation here, we could have some localized amounts up to not only 1, not only 2, but maybe close to 3 feet of snow out there towards like western New York State. Overall, a heck of a lot of snow is expected. Now, out here towards, you know, the northern side of New York, there's this one little area here that tends to get a lot of snow near Watertown and near Adams. Possibly could be not only 1, 2, or 3 foot, but maybe towards like 4 feet being possible. Overall, a heck of a lot of snow is expected for these regions out here. Now, for my folks up there towards Vermont and New Hampshire, basically minus what you've already gotten so far, we could see ourselves maybe, you know, a good 2 to 4 inches in some spots, you know, being most likely. And then for my friends up there towards Maine, central northern side, we possibly could be talking a good, once again, 4 to maybe 8 inches of snow or so. But that's basically how much snow we are expecting here within the next 72 hours. Now, the west is relatively calm. Thankfully, we've already got a lot of our precipitation out of the way. You guys really got hit quite a bit the last couple of days out here in the west, but throughout the next 3 days at least, we are not expecting really any winter accumulations or, you know, with actually that, either any accumulations not really expected in general for this region. Alrighty, everybody, so the last thing I do want to talk about with you guys is the temperatures. We are going to be getting ridiculously cold across the country. So this is basically for the morning tomorrow. First of all, we're taking a look at the GFS model. We could be in the negatives up there towards North and maybe even South Dakota into sub-zero temperatures. Now, out there towards the Midwest in the 20s, same thing towards the Ohio Valley. The Northeast could be pretty darn cold here as well, especially for some of those interior New England portions here could be very, very cold. Now, we work our way further down in time here over the next couple of days. Basically, we work our way into the morning of the 30th. Once again, sub-zero temperatures up north being possible, down into maybe even the teens across the Ohio Valley. The kind of maybe lower 20s, mid-20s out there by the northeast here in general, but it gets even colder. So we continue to push our way down for the next couple of days. Now, for the morning of December 3rd, you look and you see out there by the Midwest, possibly in the 20s, maybe the lower 20s by the Ohio Valley. Same thing for the Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, possibly even some regions near the teens. But even the South, the deep South out here, could be getting down to ridiculously cold temperatures. I mean, we're talking out there by, like, you know, Gulfport and, you know, towards, like, Mobile, Alabama, could be getting down into sub-freezing temperatures, which, you know, it's pretty hard to do that. So we are definitely talking a lot of really, really cold air associated with this system over the next several days. So every morning, basically, from here until the, you know, the 4th or so, I would highly recommend that you bundle up. But alright, everybody, well, that's going to go ahead and wrap up this video. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button for us, y'all. We're trying to reach our goal of 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I think we can do it, my friends. If y'all could help us out with that, it'll be greatly appreciated. But alrighty, everybody, well, once again, happy Thanksgiving to you guys. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider sharing this video with a friend or a family member just to help spread the word and help keep you guys safe whenever it comes to this crazy weather we're dealing with. But alrighty, everybody, thank you so much for joining. You guys have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out, my friends. Catch you then.